Hey friends, so since we're doing our first ACEO or ATC trade event in the Discord, and there's been some questions because maybe it's your first time even hearing of this concept or making an ATC yourself, which is an artist trading card, I thought I'd just show you my collection. Yeah, so the main idea is that they're the same size as regular trading cards like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering. So yeah, you can collect them in a binder like this, which is very handy because they make a lot of stuff for Pokemon card collecting and stuff. And yeah, I've been at this for a while. I've made over 200 cards and I've linked my profile in the Discord if you want to check them out. This is a German site for ATCs. I don't think there's an English one. Yeah, I wanted to show you some of the cards as an example maybe, so you can get a better idea. So this one is really cool by my friend Siund. You can see she makes really beautiful back sides of the cards as well, where you'd normally put your name and maybe a title and a number. At least I like to do that. And maybe you'd also put the context in which the card was made. So in our case, maybe the community Discord trade. I have lots of different cards with different mediums, and this, for example, is scratched. It's really shiny. It's really nice. Yeah, so I thought I'd just show you some of the cards that I've traded for, since I've traded almost all of my 227 cards that I've ever made. I think it's just really cool to see the variety and all the different mediums. This is my only oil paint card, I think. It's really beautiful. It's from my friend Daria Bernd. If you can read that, she's also on Instagram if you want to check out. Yeah, it's really cool. She also made this amazing card that you can actually open. But yeah, don't feel you have to do something fancy like that for the first card. I think it's most important to get a feel for the size, and most people stick to like watercolor and maybe acrylics or Copic marker anyway, or gouache, whatever you're comfortable with, or yeah, some even pen and ink or pencils. And yeah, as you can see, I've sorted them by theme a little bit. I have like a little chicken collection and a raven collection. It's very fun to collect by theme like that. And maybe soon I will have a mushroom collection. Yeah, this is a card by my friend who goes by Caitlin Murphy online. It's not her real name. I have a lot of cards from her, and as I do from other friends as well. I've actually made quite a few real-life friends from this hobby, which is pretty amazing. And we met up in person and stuff. Yeah, and sorry, you can see my tripod in the corner there. But I'm not sorry about my chipped nail polish, which is a choice. Here we have my Harry Potter collection. You can see some of them are in landscape format. You can do that as well. I think I just prefer the portrait format because it looks nicer in my binder. Here with a group of friends we drew ourselves as Harry Potter characters, and that's me. So yeah, here's more fan art stuff. You can see lots of different styles in there. Here we had a box-themed trade. We had a thing about boxes. Don't ask. I really love this person's style, by the way. This is pen and ink and watercolor as well, or maybe fine liner or something. It's also by a friend. Sorry, maybe this is getting a little lengthy, but yeah, I haven't looked at my cards in a while, so this is nice for me too. Look at all those cats and boxes, isn't that amazing? This one is by Ziund again, like the robots at the start. She's so amazingly talented. And I think this is gouache. And yeah, the text on the back of her cards is like art in itself. She's really good at typography and stuff. Oh yeah, and don't get confused about my old nickname, the Fingerlificated that's on the cards. That's just, yeah, like I said, an old nickname. Some Ireland themed and fan art of my favorite movies, like The Book of Kells and The Secret of Kells and Brave or Merida. Here's maybe another example of the back of a card. Some people like to use like patterned paper or cut stuff out like this person, but yeah, in my opinion, I mean, the way I collect the cards, I never see the back anyway, so I like to have a way of seeing who it's from and maybe a title and or a date, a year when it was made. Yeah, here I have more fan art, and this one is actually lino print. So yeah, I think she made multiple ones of those. Some paper crafting again and pastels, although pastels and charcoal and stuff are tricky because they never quite seal. They always smudge a little bit. There's fixatives and sealant and stuff, but yeah. Here I did an extensive Star Wars trade with a friend. So I drew Star Wars stuff for her and she drew stuff for me. And if you have seen the Matt the Radar Technician SNL sketch, then you will get this. And her online name is Königskupfer. I think she goes by that on Instagram as well. And maybe you can see it in the video, but all those cards really feel like cards, so they're not flimsy computer paper. They are sturdy, but also not too thick or three-dimensional, so they still fit nicely. In this type of binder, they're still 2D, if you know what I mean. That's really something you should keep in mind. Like if you ever held a playing card or a trading card, they maybe bend a little bit. They're not super stiff, but I'm not going to bend my original art here. Yeah, but they're not super flimsy either. And if you have thin paper that you like to work on, I would recommend you glue it onto thicker cardstock or just thicker paper and then cut it out so the edges are nice and even and yeah, rectangular, and really be careful about cutting them out. Here I have a little tarot card collection, which was a project that I started and then abandoned. I think I got up to like 10 cards or so. But yeah, I love tarot cards and playing cards. I mean, they call me Queen of Cards for a reason. I collect some regular trading cards and stuff too. It's just, I'm usually not a collector, but cards are just so practical. You can store them nicely and they don't take up space. They're tiny. I just love miniature stuff in general. And just like having tiny artwork. Yeah, even stuff like Magic the Gathering and stuff. I just like to look at the pictures and get inspired because I actually love drawing and painting tiny like that. I know it's not for everyone. For me, it just, I don't know, I can just like get lost in the details while still looking at the big picture and seeing it all at once, if that makes sense. Yeah, in general, just keep in mind like what would you like to receive, what quality of artwork, I guess. And at the end here I have some printed cards, which is something you can do but isn't done a whole lot because like, I mean, having these tiny original art cards is much more fun in my opinion. Yeah, and just if you made it this far, here are some of my cards that nobody wants. They're just my leftover cards that for some reason didn't trade. And they just so happen to be all my favorite mediums that I like to use for those cards. The links was pen and ink and watercolor. Moana fan art is acrylics. The Steven Universe fan art here is a Copic marker and some fine liner and stuff. And the Raven is watercolor and pen and ink again. I made like a little series of ravens with flowers and primary colors. So yeah, at the end here, I just wanted to show you some examples for the kinds of paper you can use. I mean, it just can be anything, but here maybe you can see a little bit more what I mean about the thickness and the feel of the card. Most watercolor papers are thick enough anyway, so yeah, don't stress about it. And here just one more quick example about how I go about creating my cards. I can either have like pre-cuts, because I don't want to measure it every time, and sometimes I just paint on them or use them to trace. But since you probably don't have that, here's just the measurements one more time. That's 2.5 by 3.5 inches, or if you use the superior system of measurement, that's 64 by 89 millimeters. Then you draw your amazing artwork like this, and you're done. Just kidding, maybe put a little bit more time into it. So yeah, if you have any more questions, please let me know, and happy painting, I guess.